Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. Something really big just happened. El Salvador hopes to become the world's first country to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a really big deal. We've been waiting on the first country for such a long while, and El Salvador apparently is going to become the #1 country to do it. And I really like this. I really like this because in the end, it's an extremely bullish announcement for Bitcoin. Now, this article just came out, and the information itself also just came out. The prices really haven't reacted to it too much, and I'm also not thinking it's actually going to do so, mostly on the basis that, well, what exactly is it going to go up for? Because Bitcoin has been accepted as legal tender? Well, I mean, people don't really value Bitcoin that way unless it was the US, for example, or Russia or China that all of a sudden made a big turn. Right now, all that happened was just a little nice announcement, and just from my own perspective, it's a bullish thing because now I know even more certain that Bitcoin is at least going to get some proper regulatory status in some countries. Then again, for price, nah. I don't think this is too much. It's just a longer term price type of thing. Before we get any further into this video though, if you are enjoying the daily crypto content, make sure you press the like button on this video, and obviously it'll be a good idea to subscribe to the channel. Also, my question of today is, do you actually hold Bitcoin? I know I make a lot of videos about XRP, but Bitcoin is still the main crypto in the market. Regardless of what happens to XRP, Bitcoin will for a good while now stay around and become #1 or be #1. So I think it's very important that whatever crypto you're holding, that you do follow the Bitcoin news properly, because ultimately that's going to decide what your investment is going to do. It's all logical though. So yeah, Bitcoin on track to hit 6 figures in 2021. To be honest with you, I do think $100,000, for example, within 2021 is actually not that crazy. It just, of course, depends on if the bull run is quote-unquote over or actually not. Now, earlier, we actually discussed that following the fundamental perspective, the bull run is, again, it's actually two-sided. The reason it could be over mostly is because, well, we made lower lows, and yeah, that basically means that your bull run is turned to a bearish run, right? Basically, we got one low here and one low wherever you want to count it. It's just lower, right? Where we go in an uptrend first, right now we are going in a downtrend, obviously. A second one is basically that we closed below the 21 weekly EMA, which a lot of people did not like to see. Now, a reason that the run is not over, there's actually two of them too, is basically because, well, we're in a bullish run, and right now we've seen a little bit of a correction. On the monthly perspective, for example, you can also see here, we got some good corrections. It's looking pretty damn juicy. However, it could be, if June closes itself positively, that it's just one big candle of red before coming back upwards. Basically, this accounting for one of the first lows in a bullish run. If you just look at it without any difficult stuff here, what you can basically see is this could look like, for example, the run starting right around here in January of 2019, and making one high, one low, another high, another low, and then another high soon afterwards. Might take a couple of months then again, would not be too crazy to follow along with the pattern. Then again, it all depends on your perspective of things. You might also say that this is just the bull run like we see right here, which is like, for example, a couple months consecutively of gains, then a couple months of negativity, then a couple months of gains, a couple months of negativity, then again a couple months of gains, a couple months of negativity. It might just be how you see it. It really depends. I mean, from a certain perspective, we've definitely gone down enough. The price only goes down a certain amount before actually coming back up. Right here, it did about 75% or so. This time around, we are also already down like 60 or so. Yeah, we went down about 53% or so. Here, let's quickly check it out. Here we went from 19,000, of course, to about 84% down. It's difficult to say, all right? It's really difficult to say, but there's definitely two sides to every story. And as of right now, all I'm saying is, well, I'm not saying that trading is a smart idea right now. I'm telling you, wait for a breakout to either side. Things are also closing in, as you can most likely already see from just looking at the chart. We are closing in. A decision has to be made. A lot of people said that this was decision time and that we actually broke out towards the upside. I'm not exactly sure if we can actually draw any candle right here, any line right here. I guess we broke down to the downside from that perspective. Let's quickly see. No, I guess we're still forming, right? I would still say this is actually valid if we were to draw it in properly, following the line. This could work. I mean, it's definitely not a break that I would consider to be a real breakout just quite yet. We're still trading within margin within this triangle right now, waiting for a breakout. Obviously, trading breakouts is a fine strategy as long as you do it consecutively, as I've told you guys before. None of these videos are financial advice, by the way, but if we are trading a breakout, basically what we do is we wait for the breakout towards either side. We wait for example, a breakout like this, confirmation, and then we buy into about halfway through the next candle. So right around this area, for example, is where we would buy in if we are going to do that. Are we going to? It depends. It really depends on the near term here. It really depends. If we get a breakout to the downside, I am less likely to do so. Then again, that's mostly because I am biased towards the top, and I don't like shorting Bitcoin from a different perspective, since we are in a quote-unquote bearish run right now, a little bit of a bearish period as the prices are going down. Shorting would be more logical. Then again, I'm more so skeptical towards shorting. I like longing a lot more for Bitcoin purely because it sounds just like a more logical approach. You might also actually see a little bit of a bearish pennant in this one. Usually these break towards the downside with about the inflow, basically. So right around this, no, it's actually, sorry guys, it's actually this impulse basically as a potential reward. So basically that would mean from the breakout about 30% profit or so, which would be towards this little area at about 25 point something thousand or so, this little area. That's again if it breaks out the bearish pennant following the pattern, which would be interesting. Now, even though the price, again, you might on some ways call a little bit bearish, which again is ultimately a good thing because we can trade that and make a lot of money. The news is actually extremely positive. Jack Dorsey says Square is weighing a possible Bitcoin hardware wallet, once more showing some main adoption. Jack Dorsey's also said he'd leave Twitter and Square for Bitcoin, which is definitely getting interesting. Then Max Kaiser, buy Bitcoin to help your family when the global economy collapses. Exclusive interview. Well, I would just like to keep it short there, say, hey, if you've ever been thinking of giving your family or somebody a really, really good gift that's going to stick with them for a very long while, I would definitely say consider crypto. I think personally that giving somebody money is one thing, but giving somebody some crypto is a completely different ball field, really, really different field because, well, you're giving them something which is not necessarily easy to spend if they don't know too much about it, which forces them to either look up more on it or just accept the gift for what it is and just keep it that way. Which all of those scenarios, everything I'm saying right there is just positive, 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 and nice. And I just think it's a really smart idea. Then again, you might hate yourself because you gave away crypto that, again, went up in value and you lost money. Then again, you weren't trying to give a gift. You're trying to make somebody, a better life as well. So make it feel like a good thing. Unless they sell it and they lose out on money. That doesn't feel that good. Then crypto billionaire Novograd's banks institutions will buy Bitcoin compliance 2021. Let's quickly see. Billionaire and former hedge fund manager Mike Novogratz explains why institutional adoption of crypto is set to explode. I mean, logically, it will only keep increasing as time goes on. There's not one single factor as to why it will explode, to be completely honest with you. It's just logic would suffice enough to say that right now compliance is at one point, and so the regulatory field is not made properly just quite yet for a big surge. But as time moves on, more regulatory clarity will be there, and it's just really logical that more institutions are going to be buying it too. Right now, there's not even a freaking ETF for Bitcoin just quite yet. There's in Canada, but not even in the US. So let's get another point towards it. Then another article about Bitcoin will literally go to the moon this year. It definitely might. There's not one thing which is showing that it will, but some of the guys like Astra Topics CEO John Torton said, we are incredibly excited to be flying this payload to the surface and can't wait for the mission coming up very soon. I think there was actually one more quote. Maybe I missed it now. Somebody said we're literally going to the moon. Oh, here. Yes, literally Bitcoin is going to the moon, he said during a live stream. Then one thing I just wanted to quickly mention, maybe relevant, maybe not. TSM, a really popular esports team, signs a $210 million deal to change name with crypto exchange FTX. I just thought that was really interesting how that went on. So what they did is FTX made a deal with TSM that they have to change their name to TSM FTX for $21 million a year. That's a pretty big deal. I think a lot of gamers are going to be noticing that and again going to be looking up FTX from that perspective on forward, and more retail is also coming into crypto, guys. It's really, really growing fast right now. I've told you guys before, we don't, as a crypto community, don't really need it anymore because of the adoption that Elon Musk, for example, brought towards Doge and that brought towards crypto. But it's always nice to see. It's always nice to see. All right, so once more, if you're asking for my expectation for Bitcoin, all I'm seeing is the upside, obviously. A downside is always a temporary thing. Then again, I'm not too bearish on it. Even though we closed below the 21 weekly EMA, there's still so much room for growth, so much room for recovery. And I'm still holding my BTC till the bitter freaking end because I don't want to sell it for cheaper than the top spot. A lot of people are talking about a potential crossover, a death cross, basically being the longer term EMA overtaking the shorter term EMA. I don't have the proper ones in here though for right now, but yeah. All right, guys, that was it for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you press the like button and subscribe, and I will definitely see you guys again in another crypto video later today. Take care, everybody, and have a very, very nice one. Adios, amigos.